Hello, everybody. So, in the past couple of months, I've been spending my monthly budget on Duel Links instead of physical cards. I advise against it. I advise you to buy real cards because you'll be left with something that has resale value in the end instead of something that can be taken away from you when the game shuts down. But this is the deck that I'm going into this ranked duel with. In the afterwards, I'll do a deck profile. It's Invoked Elementsabers, playing a Shizu because her skill is one of the strongest in the game. She's a mirror match. No mortal can resist hurts me too, so that's I'm sure he's using that. Alright, so we got the field spell, 2 Molehu's, and a Fiendish. I am going to definitely play the field spell. I don't know if I'm going to search. I probably am. Yeah, I got the Fiendish. I can search. Need some kind of quick effect. I want to thin the deck, so I can draw my Alistair. So I'm going to normal this. This sends from deck to grave, this Fire Elementsaber. And then because I have the field spell, I send from deck to grave as cost as well. So that's because of the field spell. And that's because of the monster. And that's all I got with that monster. This monster here, Molehu, has a strong quick effect, but I decided to thin my deck and establish my graveyard. I got the Fiendish set for this turn. I did search with the field spell, so my next battle phase is going to be negated, or you know what I mean, skipped. All right, back row. Yeah, let's get that quick effect on the field. I'll have the other one in my hand for Raigeki Break. Still don't know what he's playing. Oh, blue eyes. Does this have an effect on the field? No, he probably has that Sage, I think. The one that you can send. I could honestly destroy it, but it has a graveyard effect. I was thinking Raigeki Break, but no. He's just gonna attribute it to summon that other tuner. Or send it from the field to grave. Alright. I can Raigeki Break that, honestly, but I don't want to.
Watch and learn. I special summon a monster.
What is that? Oh, he's not playing what I thought he was playing. Sending one non-effect monster from your hand. This card gains attack equal to the level. You tribute one effect monster, special summon one normal. Kind of want to Raigeki Break that monster. You can tribute one effect monster special. I don't want him to special summon a normal monster from the deck.
My trap activates. My turn. I draw.
That's a pretty bad draw. Alright, you know what? Let's search. So I have another. Because this skips the battle phase of the next turn. So that's the last card in my deck to search. My zones are going to be full. Am I okay with that? And I can't even. No cards left to flip this face down. Let's just swing.
It's my battle phase. And now I shall attack you with my mind.
That game? Is that honestly game?
Future for you. I attack you directly.
Come on, man. That was too easy. Don't even know what he was playing. Something with, what was that? Cosmo Brain?
I have foreseen the day
Cosmo
when we
Brain,
shall
is that it?
duel again.
Yeah, Cosmo Brain. Alright, so on to the deck profile. I'm glad that was a quick one, because I honestly like doing the deck profile more than playing. So this is the deck. So, yeah. So, Alistair is really the crux of the deck, because upon normal or being flip face up, so you can set it, and if they swing into it, or if you flip summon it, or any way it's flip face up or normaled, you search Invocation. So, Invocation is the polymerization. It can just be polymerization using monsters in your hand, or if you can banish from field or grave to summon an invoked monster. Invoked monsters require Alistair plus one monster of some attribute, whether it's dark, water, earth, or fire. Fire being the best here, that's why it's an ultra. Alistair is also a hand trap. Either player's turn, you can discard it to make your fusion monster gain 1,000 attack and defense, which is really, really huge for this monster especially, the Purgatrio. For the Elementsabers, these are the ones I play. You don't have to play this water one. As you just saw, I ran out of cards to send from deck to grave or to discard as cost to use their effects. So I like to play this water one just for an extra material there, or an extra discard fodder. But Mole, who's really the strongest one, it's got a Book of Moon quick effect when you discard an Elementsaber, or if you have a field spell here, you can send from deck to grave instead. It's also a pretty strong beater. The field spell makes it a stronger beater, as the field spell does with all of the monsters here. This is a spell and trap negate, but it's got weak attack. This sends from deck to grave, as you saw. And then this one, I forget what this one even does. I just have it as this one extra. It adds from grave to hand. Invocation, you can actually recur it. When it's in the graveyard, you can add it back to the deck and then target one of your banished Alistairs, which you banished if it was on the field or in the grave as fusion material, not in your hand. But you can target your banished Alistair with Invocation and add it back to your hand, and then Invocation, this is when Invocation was in the graveyard, Invocation goes back to the deck. So you can just normal Alistair if you haven't that turn to search Invocation, oftentimes using many Invocations in a row, or using Alistair as a hand trap that turn. So Alistair boosting attack is pretty huge when it comes to this monster right here. So Concentrated Current does the same thing. As you can see, this card is semi-limited. So it boosts this card boosts Concentrating Current, boosts attack equal to the defense of the monster. So this card onto the extra deck here. Invoke Purgatrio. It gains attack equal or for each card your opponent controls. So it's going to have a lot of attack, plus the field spell, plus Concentrating Current, plus Alistair as a hand trap. It also does piercing and also attacks all your opponent's monsters once each. So if they have a bunch of monsters, sometimes you flip them face down defense with Molehu. You go into Purgatrio. By the way, you can change the attributes of these Elementsabers, so it doesn't have to be the fire one. You can change the dark one to fire in the graveyard to go into the fire invoked monster. So yeah, you just attack your opponent many times with Invoked Purgatrio, and oftentimes 2 attacks or even 1 attack if you boost this card's attack enough, especially with Concentrating Current. You can really do just OTK them, and you can turn duels around just with 1 Alistair. If you draw Alistair in the late game and you just normal summon it, search that Invocation, and your graveyard is established and no mortal can resisted you, which messes up your graveyard, you can sometimes win the game. I beat Thunder Dragon. It was a really close duel, but I just top decked Alistair and I won. The Earth one is good too because it's a vanilla monster, but it's got really high defense, so it's good for Concentrating Current, which gains to like 6,300 attack. The water one is limited, but it's good. I don't know if it should be limited, but it's very good. It can't be destroyed, can't be targeted, attacks while in defense position, has a lot of defense, so it's just hard to get around this card, hard to get over it, hard to get it off the field. Not going into the water one as much as earth or fire, and going into the dark one the least. I only have 2 ultras of this fire one, so that's why I have 2 dark ones in here, but yeah, the dark one, it's a good floodgate. If you don't have many resources and your opponent has a lot and you can make one play, just go into the dark one, especially if you don't have any kind of graveyard, especially when you have Molehu in hand and you have to use Molehu for the attribute that it actually is, which is dark, instead of changing its attribute to fire. So this one, only one effect can activate, and also only one monster can attack per turn. It is a good floodgate, like I said, and definitely the least commonly used, but still useful in some situations. As for the traps, I just have a bunch of generic traps in here. Fiendish is probably the MVP of the traps. Ultimate Providence is very good too. Got a good balance of monster spells and traps here, so good variety of cards to discard if I want to negate monster spell or traps. Floodgate is a great card, obviously, because it happens before they can use their ignition effects during the main phase. You just hit them on summon as long as they don't have a summon effect. Dimensional Prison can be very, very useful. Also can be totally useless because it can be popped with Cosmic Cyclone so easily. And any, 6 Samurai has backer removal. A lot of cards, just a lot of decks have backer removal. I only play one of this card. You could take this out if you're building this deck. Raigeki Break, great card. Oftentimes have cards in the hand. Can use this for a lot of purposes. Monster removal, spell and trap removal. Just playing against something like Yubel, which can't be destroyed by battle, and battle doesn't happen. See, honestly, I played Yubel with this deck. I think I lost, but if I had played I have a second Raigeki Break. If I played it, I probably could have won. Anyway, no mortal can resist. Just if you didn't know, messes up the graveyard. So all monsters in your opponent's graveyard become Skull Servant. So it's just a huge, in your face to the opponent. It makes their graveyard totally useless. But this has been a ranked duel with Invoked Elementsaber plus a deck profile. There's probably going to be more Duel Links content coming up because I sunk my budget into this game rather than buying real life cards. So thanks for watching. Have a good one.